I may not recover from this. Let's listen to this Geometry Dash story. The Day Geometry Dash Almost Died, dude, by Matt Mart. See if this is interesting.
The story I'm about to tell you is of one Geometry Dash player who in his time created 3 levels that were meant to define the future of Geometry Dash.
Scary video iceberg?
One
That's
by
a good
one,
idea.
his creations would fall until, at the peak of his popularity, the fate of Geometry Dash as a whole would be determined by one
Can I see the bully
single
button?
level.
What did you mean by that?
It was finally finished. A top player known as Riot would complete the hardest level in Geometry Dash history, Bloodbath.
Bro, they're all pretty hard, from my memory.
You had to precisely click to jump over obstacles, flip gravity, and fly through extremely tight gaps where if your icon touches a single spike, it could end your run. Every time you die, you have to start back at the beginning of a level. These are not even the most complicated segments of the level. It gets way worse.
Yeah, dude, the hardest freaking Geometry Dash levels are like, they almost play themselves because they're like freaking just so tightly made to the tile or whatever you would do. Polygons.
Damn.
The amount of time, dedication, and skill
It's like
needed to
Happy Wheels or
complete a
Mario
level
Maker
harder
or
than
some shit.
anything made before is almost incomprehensible. 2 weeks after Bloodbath was uploaded on the Geometry Dash servers for anyone to
What up,
play,
dog?
RobTop decided to release the long-awaited update
Moda.
2.0, the largest update the game had ever seen. While GD was receiving more new players and media coverage than ever, most veterans of the game were not able to adapt well at all to the new features.
But yeah, 2.0 was just a really strange time for the game, in my opinion. It was really weird. Levels were not that great.
Only gameplay is spamming buttons.
To discover why 2.0 was so jarring compared to other updates, we have to travel back in time.
What we do here is go back and throw it back.
Back in 2013, when Geometry
Damn it, I
Dash
should have said
started, there
that.
was a single button that made it unlike any other game made before. A create button, which would lead you to a level editor. In the early era of the game, the level editor would be quite accessible. Most building styles were nice and simple. From 1.1 to 1.9, RobTop was very consistent with updating the game. While there was definitely gradual change and some updates were more ambitious than others, the community never felt overwhelmed.
Learning all about the goats of Geometry Dash. Well, the goats that almost broke the game, so I guess they're not really the goats, they're kind of the bad goats.
Felt intimidatingly endless. Limits of the past, like the inability to move objects and the 4-color limit, would be lifted. Many well-established creators were quitting the game, leaving a void that new styles would have to fill. An example of a creator suffering because of the new update was Manx 648. This was what Manx's levels looked like in 1.9. Quite simple, quite likable. Although in 2.0 his style became an absolute mess. Some creators had better adaptations than Manx. LaserBlitz was pioneering a new technology-based style which thousands would enjoy. Manx would start imitating and making changes to this new tech style. After a while, the two creators became friends and began to regularly collaborate on making the same level. There was no one creating levels quite like they were. The modern Geometry Dash editor was somewhat inaccessible, so when someone was able to figure it out...
Bro, designing all this shit on a touchscreen? That has to be impossible. This has to be on the computer, right? The way he just said that and did that made me think that they were doing this on their iPod Touches, which would be impressive. However,
Manx would
what are you, Einstein?
Fusion. This level was jam-packed with interesting
maybe not a good
gameplay,
use of your
never
day,
before
son.
seen effects, and an amazing boss fight. In an era where most boss fights were just some dumb monster that could shoot lasers, Manx making this weird technological masterpiece was insane. Manx would start to be known as one of the greatest Geometry Dash creators of all time. He seemed to be heading straight towards success.
Yes! Bro! Joshua Block exploded!
An unexpected detour which would change the fate of Geometry Dash forever.
JK, he just had a similar swag. Probably the shirt.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's over!
Holy fucking shit, Mom! Get the camera!
Out of the millions to download Bloodbath, Quasar was somehow the first to beat it. That Serve guy he was talking about was considered to be the best at the time. This is what happened to him.
What up, Ricky?
Yeah, Geometry Dash rivalries are intense.
Welcome in, welcome
After
in.
seeing this, Manix began to think about how far Geometry
If you guys
Dash
have any ideas for what to react to, feel free to link me some shit, because I
could be pushed decoration.
just watching this Geometry Dash thing.
Fueled by ambition,
For
Manix
now.
would begin working on a level. And on March 28, 2016, he would release a video titled, "Are You Ready to Return?"
I'm ready.
This was Bloodlust, an expectation-shattering recreation of a revolutionary level. Every level needs a verifier. It's pretty much the game's way of saying, you made a level, now you have to prove that it's humanly possible. If you do that, you get to upload the level to the servers for anyone to play. During this time, there were several level projects aiming to rebirth the levels of the past with new features and often far harder gameplay. Compared to Bloodbath, Bloodlust was more difficult. Rather than relying primarily on straight-fly, there was more variety with the game modes. There were a ton of decorators, and the general dark atmosphere of the level made it harder to sight read than Bloodbath. Manix was going to top a top 1 level. Bloodbath itself was 1 minute and 50 seconds long. In Bloodlust, you'd think the level would end right here, just like Bloodbath. Although, if you go the normal way, you'll die. You have to jump up here, and then this monster appears, forcing you to play through 50 seconds more of this hell. Along with all of this, Manix would add an incredibly difficult ship part at the start. Although Manix's creations were getting more and more impressive, Quasar was beginning to slow down on Bloodlust progress updates. Theories started to spread
nice
that
of him.
Quasar wasn't
No more
capable of
Bloodlust.
verifying Bloodlust and that it would be handed off to someone else. Those rumors are false. I don't know where you heard that. Bloodlust is my challenge, and I have no thoughts of giving up. It wouldn't take very long for Quasar's spirit and determination to be broken by this level. I sometimes
Appreciate you, Emma. What up, 5 champ?
I can't go 10 minutes on an extreme demon without the pain coming
The
back.
horror of Anna Montana. That would be at the bottom of my personal iceberg of things that I saw on the internet today, dude.
Especially Manix.
I was today years old when I seen the pillow.
Wanted to play Bloodlust. This was until the 10th Bloodbath victor, a player by the name of Nobbleboy, told Manix that he was capable of getting the job done.
Job done.
Nobbleboy was a
AQ
controversial
Guava?
decision because many people thought he wouldn't be good enough. When contending
sound
with other
familiar.
top players of the time to
Was
see
it
who
today?
could beat a level first, you'd be hard-pressed to find a level where Nobbleboy was even one of the first 3 victors. Nobbleboy's rivals were already beating new top 1s. Bloodbath would finally be replaced by Trusta's Sakup in Hell. Sakup in Hell would be replaced by Athanatos. Athanatos would be replaced by Sunix's Sonic Wave, which would then be replaced by Trusta's Yatagarasu. When the first 2 verifiers failed and Trusta was selected to be the 3rd verifier of Yatagarasu, he determined the level would be too hard for him to do normally. So he would make it significantly easier than it was originally intended. Therefore, after a week of debate, it was decided that Yatagarasu was easier than Sonic Wave. Nobbleboy's community was widely against the concept of him making Bloodlust easier. They didn't want Bloodlust to be another Yatagarasu, so through the months, Nobbleboy kept putting thousands of attempts into Bloodlust, eventually passing the entire Bloodbath-inspired segment and making it to the extension. During practice runs,
Bro, I like how the whole level looks all satanic and scary. Crazy incantations. This shit look like Brothicky Cardi or something.
Proven that he was capable of beating the entire extension of Bloodlust. If he could somehow combine those 2 runs into one amazing attempt, then maybe, just maybe, Bloodlust could be a new top 1. Eventually,
Maybe,
Nobbleboy
just
got a new high
maybe.
score of 76%.
How does this destroy the game? Are we talking just like mechanically or what? Chapter 4, Blade of Justice, Fusion Z, Dark Age, Epilogue. I think I got debated.
So here we are, in 2018. Manix's 3 top 1 extreme demons that were meant to define the future all seem to become relics of the past. January 2018 was not a good month for Geometry Dash. While the community had a new preview of the update here and there, it felt like 2.2 should have been out by now. 2.1's release wasn't as much of a popularity peak as 2.0, and the game couldn't keep having these yearly updates. It felt like the Geometry Dash community as a whole was about to enter the Dark Age. I remember being a player back then.
That was the thumbnail.
Nothing to watch, nothing to do. Nobbleboy held the keys to the most hyped up level in Geometry Dash history.
I'm sorry, but you gotta be extremely cracked to have nothing to do left in this game. I'm sorry, dude. You're just built different.
It felt
The
like
rest of us are still playing level 2.
Prolong the Dark Age just a little bit longer. After nearly 2 years, everyone was tired of waiting. Manix had unintentionally leaked some copies of Bloodlust to other top players, so it was probably inevitable that Bloodlust was about to be stolen. A top player called Redacted started practicing Bloodlust, progressing at a far faster rate than anyone expected. What Redacted did in 8,000 attempts took Nababoy over 55,000. Over
Ain't
time,
no way.
many people began to question whether or not
Only there
Bloodlust
were more
could still
hours in the
stand to
day, brother.
top one demon, which was now Smokes' Plasma Pulse finale. Both levels were very difficult in different ways. It was almost impossible to compare the two. Redacted would continue his stand against Nababoy. The two players were surrounded in controversy. Redacted blamed Nababoy for not being able to finish Bloodlust, and compared his conquest of Bloodlust to Nababoy's attempted takeover of Fusion Z. Even if many people had disapproved with what Redacted was doing, it had been 2 years since the first Bloodlust preview. Not a lot of people are going to go out of their way to defend something like that. Eventually, Nababoy and Redacted would strike a deal. If Redacted would briefly stop practicing Bloodlust, then Nababoy would have to return to verify this monstrous creation. After over 1,000 hours of playtime, Nababoy would once again find himself in the last 10% of the level. The fate of Geometry Dash as a whole all relied on a few difficult clicks.
Ain't no way! I'd blow it. Oh! Let's go.
All of the failures and struggles were worth it. Bloodlust would place number 1. Now, despite all of these events, the Geometry Dash community would still enter a dark age. However, even if we couldn't rely on RobTop to give us new content, we could rely on each other. Bloodlust stayed on top of the demon list for over a year and gave the community something to look to for inspiration. Manx would finally release an official version of Fusion Z, a level entirely made in the 1.9 editor. During this time, Nababoy released Astral Divinity and Molten Gear, a level which not only revived parts of Fusion Z but contained new parts which looked amazing. There was also a rebirth known as Edge of Destiny which would start production. This level perfectly captures the spirit and atmosphere of the unnerfed Blade of Justice. Nowadays, Nababoy, Manx, and Laserblitz don't play GD as much, but they still pop in from time to time to see how the community's doing. 2.2 still isn't out, and GD players have used the same toolset for over 5 years. But none of that matters. Every year the community
This is 2 years old, so that might not even be true anymore. Shout out to freaking Matt Martho for the interesting story. I like the way he told it, because I was a little worried that I wasn't going to care, but it was well made. Good video, good video. 2.2 is out now. Score. More good news. I'm sure everybody's going to be excited to hear that, even though they probably already knew.